A lot of business books are just based on truisms. Think of how in different companies, even something as similar as like how trust evolves. It's so easy to say a common pattern with teams that are successful is they trust each other. But that doesn't talk about how that trust emerged. There are environments where people literally shout at each other and they still trust each other. I mean, it's like the cold eye of Sauron when you're doing something wrong, but we all trust each other. We all have a great time. But if you were in a different culture and you behaved like that, that would never go over well to do those things. So I think that that's funny is like, it's easy to point at things like, well, you should trust each other. I fall into this trap all the time with advice like, you should trust each other. It's like, yes, but how did you generate those things? And a particular example would be here in Santa Barbara, where I work. It's a pretty laid back town, but there's a university here, UCSB, that attracts a lot of researchers and smart people, and they have a computer science department. There have been a number of tech companies that have merged in Santa Barbara. I think that like the Mars rover was developed here, and there's a handful of successful SaaS companies in Santa Barbara. When we do our retros at the company work here, we would go out to the beach. Like we would walk around. It's all very laid back. At that company, before we went public, no one even talked about whether we made the quarter or not. It was just going. It was just working. And when I described that to someone else, they said, well, that could never work. There was no sense of urgency there. I mean, how can you? And I was like, well, in that culture, you had really smart people who happened to live in a place which is really beautiful. People are pretty relaxed and things can work in that environment.